Hi there, I'm Scott, and this is GreatScott Knitting, and this is Pesach Day 4. I'll turn that light back on when I need it. Pesach Day 4, Passover. I said the Hebrew term for Passover, which is Pesach. Yeah, so there's lots of Hebrew terms that I throw around when I'm having these little holiday visits. So as it is the Omer, I will, and it is at sunset, or actually a bit after sunset. So it is time for me to count the Omer. So Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer hayom shlosha yamim laomer. Today is 3 days of the Omer. Yay. So, okay, done that little part. So I am still good in the Omer in terms of my counting of the days of the Omer. 3 days in, yay, still good. Yeah, so it was a really I shouldn't say not eventful day. It was actually quite an eventful day, at least in terms of my fiber art. I'll be right back. I was able to complete my Close to You shawl. The Close to You shawl is a pattern by Justina Lorkowska. And this is the yarn is, I would ask myself the yarn, and I don't remember, so let me just look that up real quick. And by real quick, it could take a minute. Here we go. Okay, so the yarn is Louisa Harding yarns. The base is Amatola. The color is Tango. So here is this lovely little shawl. It has this one edging. So it's done on the bias from this tip to this end, and so on the one side you have this swooping lace edging, and then it is finished off with a picot bind off. I still need to block, so I usually wet block my shawls, so that still needs to happen. So now I have, in this week, completed my pair of socks. I've completed my shawl. And oh, by the way, that was yarn that I got in my gift box from my a patron of the show. Well, patron in that he gifted me this giant box, 25 pounds worth of yarn. And so I wanted to cast something on with that yarn. Some of the yarn that he gave me, so that's what I chose first, and so I have that. So now I need to choose a sock yarn that I'm going to knit my socks out of, and I don't really know yet. Yeah, I need to figure that out so I can get my April socks cast on this week. So I need to make some choices there. I'm also considering doing a patterned sock as opposed to a just the plain vanilla sock. But I like toe up, so I need to find a toe up patterned sock that I like. And of course, having finished a shawl, I was then pretty much wanting to go ahead and cast on a shawl. So I have cast on a shawl And let me show you. So I've cast on the Color Strike shawl. This shawl is by, of course, I just want to quickly show that to you. Isn't that just gorgeous? Of course, mine's not going to be quite so vibrant. Mine's a little bit more subdued. Actually, quite a bit more subdued. But this is a pattern by Josh Ricks Robinski, also known as Rebel Pup Knits. And it is a paid-for pattern. It is 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn in like a dark, a light, and a medium color. So I will show you the yarns that I have selected for this project, and then I'll show you where I'm at so far. So here are the yarns. These are all from a local dyer to Wichita, Kansas, called 316 Dye Studio, and hand-dyed happiness is their little tagline. And you can see the state of Kansas, and right there is where Wichita is, and that's where the 316 Dye Studio is. So I have 3 colorways from theirs. This one is called Stardust, which is my dark. Then my medium is Dried Lavender. There's a great contrast here, but I'm going to show you how they knit up. And then, of course, my light color is called Dapple Gray, which is it's basically a white yarn, or very, very light gray with black speckles. I really enjoyed that one. And so I got a little bit of work done on it since work ended. And so it starts off with just some basic striping, and it has an I-cord edge, which is really fun. So here it starts off with the dark and the light, and then it transitions into the dark and the medium. And as you can see, my dark and the medium really blend really nicely with each other without a grand deal of contrast. And I'm hoping that it doesn't get lost in the knitting of it. So that, yeah, I'm hoping that that lavender doesn't get lost, because it is so similar to the Stardust color. I love the contrast of the light and the dark. It looks really nice. And of course, then it so to come back and kind of really show some of this up close. Oh, there it is, full screen. So you can really see, so it'll be the, okay, no, I think it'll contrast nicely here where these different parts come together. And the light and the medium will contrast nicely. So yeah, I think it's going to work. It's just the striping that's going to be just a little blendy, one could say. I don't know. I'm going to continue with it. I think it's going to be fine. I do like it. So there it is. So yeah, so oh, here's the back side of it. Sometimes I like the back side as much as I like the front side, but yeah, it's gonna work. It's not the highest contrast, but I think it's gonna be nice. And I think that the light and the medium will contrast nicely. Of course, I might get to it and find, nope, none of this works at all. I really should have swatched and didn't, but oh well. We're going to go forward with it anyway. So if you have an opinion, feel free to give it to me. I may listen to it, or I might just not. I don't know. Whatever. Give me your opinion anyway. But yeah. So I love the yarn. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is a 100% superwash merino 4-ply. So lovely, lovely stuff. Yeah. So that's what I've been up to fiberly today. My allergies have been kind of acting up, so I'm a little sniffly. Oh, hey, I didn't read the meditation for the day, so let's just quickly do that. Okay, so the focus of the day, the meditation of the day is, of course, for this week we're talking about loving kindness. The Hebrew term is chesed, and we are dealing with the today, starting today, tonight, and tomorrow, into tomorrow is Tiferet Shebech Chesed. The compassion or the harmony in loving kindness, the compassion of loving kindness. So harmony in love is one that blends both the chesed, loving kindness, and gevurah, the discipline aspects of love. Harmonized love includes empathy and compassion. Love is often given with the expectation of receiving love in return. Compassionate love is given freely, expects nothing in return, even when the other doesn't deserve love. Tiferet is giving also to those who have hurt you. So the exercise of the day is to offer a helping hand to a stranger. So, actually, earlier today, I was thinking something in terms like this, but I was thinking of my dogs, of course, because they loyally stay with me throughout the day as I work in this space for my real job. Well, I should say the job that pays the bills. But one of the aspects of the reason I really love the canine pet is their unconditional love. They are there and they give of themselves freely without expectation. And really, no matter what your mood is, they are there for you. It's like, they're always happy to see you, regardless of how distracted you might be, or if you get gruff with them, they quickly forgive and forget and love you anyway. And I think the aspects of the universe that one might want to call God, I think, is very similar to that. There's no separation. There's nothing you can do to separate yourself from the universe. So there's nothing you can do to separate yourself from God. It's that type of compassion, that type of love, that giving of oneself without expectation of having anything returned. It's kind of like doing something for someone, but in a way that they don't know you did it. That's kind of like compassion. Creating a harmony. You get the satisfaction of having done it because that's the type of person you are. And they receive the benefit, but they may not know necessarily you're the one that did it. there are aspects of that that are a good thing. And I could see the downside of that is like, sometimes you need to be able to toot your own horn when you've done something for another. But sometimes you just, if it's the right thing to do, you do it, whether you get recognized for it or not. And I think that is sometimes something we forget. Sometimes I think sometimes we do things for others with the expectation that they're then going to do something for us. And then when they don't, we get upset about it. It's like if you give someone a gift and then they don't give you a thank you card. Do we even do thank you cards anymore? Probably not the way we ought to. But then again, why do you... well, nah, I'll leave that one for another day. I was thinking, when you give a gift, but then they do something with it that you don't approve of. But you've given them the gift. You've given it to them. Isn't it now theirs to do with as they choose? As long as they're getting joy. Your joy was in the giving. Anyway, so Tiferet of Shebechesed, the compassion or harmony in loving kindness, is the focus of the day. Interesting things to think about. I know I get sometimes weirdly heavy and into this stuff, but I don't know, I find it interesting. I find it fun to be introspective. It's just my nature. I'm an introvert at heart, even though I do this. It is really outside of my comfort bubble. My comfort bubble is really pretty much, closing the door, putting on my knitting, watching some shows on either streaming or watching YouTube channels, and enjoying my life in that way. But this, and my profession as a corporate teacher, takes me out of that comfort zone. But I still enjoy this. I have grown into this type of interaction. I'm gonna wax into something that I had never really thought that I would ever talk about. And it's sort of a confession. I don't know, those of you who might not do YouTube types of shows or have never done one, you may not realize that when you start a channel and you start doing these types of vlogging and podcast thingies, you get some data back from YouTube telling you how well your channel is doing and how well the videos are doing and who watches and how long and all this kind of information, and the number of subscribers you get. And of course, YouTube is tracking it because they want to encourage you to then reach a level of monetization so that they can start making money off of you. But you have to reach a certain number of subscribers and a certain number of viewed hours. And I started this with the intention of that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is sharing and enjoying that process of sharing that which I do. But then these analytics kept coming in, and it kept being very motivating, and then sometimes not motivating. And then I started comparing myself to other podcasters who had just started, and they have thousands of followers, and I have enough followers. There became sort of subscription envy, one could say. So this is a good reminder that why do I do this? What do I want in return? I do this for the joy of sharing, for the sharing of my passion for knitting, for fiber, for dyeing, for beautiful fibers and yarns, and to share with you and to hear your input. I love it when you all, give me a comment or subscribe or like. I mean, those things are nice, but I've got to remember that's not why I do this. I do this for me. But I think back to when I started this channel and why I started this channel was that if I can encourage or inspire someone else to knit or to try a pattern or to consider dyeing or to try a new dyeing technique that maybe they don't do. I mean, you don't have to be an indie dyer to dye yarn for yourself. It's like you don't have to be a master knitter with a knitting guild to enjoy knitting and to find pleasure in it and to, create things that you can wear or decorate with or put in a box and give away to charity. It comes down to why do these things and why do I do these things? I knit because I really enjoy it. It gives me great peace and calm and joy. And I love the ability to, or the opportunity to then give those things that I knit away to people and hope they appreciate it, hope they like it, hope they are inspired by it in some fashion. And that is also why I do this channel, that in hopes that, I bring a smile to someone's, face or make them think about something that they may not have thought of before. I love it when people subscribe. It's great when they do. I love, it's great if you click the like button. But that's, I need to let go of that envy that others have more subscribers. Maybe I'll reach 1,000 subscribers in this year. Maybe I won't. It doesn't mean that those that watch aren't getting something from my sharing. I hope you do. And you know what? Even if you don't, I think I'm still going to do it because I like it. And there might be one person out there that gets something from my being here. And they may not ever tell me. That's one of the joys of, that's one of the challenges, and yet it's one of the joys of life, is that you never know who you inspire and how you inspire them. And yet that person that that I say a word that gives them the thought to do something new or to overcome a challenge or to walk in a different direction that they had never walked before, and something amazing happens in their life, and maybe I play a part in that. That's one of the mysteries and joys of life, because you never know when you're going to have that opportunity of really impacting another person. And it's great to be reminded of that this is why I do this, is because I might help someone. So there. That being said, if you like these videos that I'm putting out this week, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you like what you find on my channel, subscribe. And if you want to be notified of when I upload new content, you can hit the little bell icon. But if you don't, that's okay too. I'm all right with that. So I hope you have a lovely, lovely day going into Wednesday. And I will come back tomorrow and let you know what craziness is going on in my head tomorrow. I'll share a little progress, if I have any, on my color strike shawl. And yeah, so that's it. So may you have peace in your home and the fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Good night.